All right. So the key, nerds, to gamification is the completion rules when you're using Schoology. So once you've added your materials into your folder, you'll see this option button to the side where you'll find student completion. And so within the game, each level, if you hit student completion, you're going to want to make sure you always check requirements must be completed in sequential order and then add the requirements. And of course, the first is for them to finish the entire folder for level 1. And you can see the only option is member must complete. We'll add another requirement for level 2, and then you can keep going for however many levels you've made inside of your game and save. And then you'll notice this little check mark comes up underneath. So when students are accessing the game, they must complete level 1 before they're allowed to go to level 2, right? And then within the levels, all of the different materials we've already added will provide us with different options as well. So if we go in again to our options and student completion, we'll require that they're completed in sequential order and then add a requirement. It defaults to whatever you first put up, but we'll kind of look through and decide, all right, what do I want to do first? If the PDF file, we want them to read that first. You'll notice for a PDF file, the only option is to view the item. This is the same for most any kind of document you add, whether it's a Word document or a PDF file. We'll add another requirement. Take a look. The map skills link. And again, the member must view the item. That means they'll have to click on the link. And we'll kind of go through and check out a couple of the other ones. Let's say the assessment here, label the compass rose. And this is where you'll see there's some other options. Just to view it, to simply make a submission. Or if you want to make sure they understand the content, they must score at least a certain amount of points. So we could say however many points you want to make it worth. Maybe it's 10 points is the best they get. This one you can see is out of 100%. So maybe we want to make sure that they're at least scoring 90 before they're allowed to move on. And then we'll go through a link to this one's a video. Same thing, they have to just view the item. And you can add as many of these as you'd like. This one is an assignment. Same thing, do you want them to just make a submission? Or do you want them to score a certain amount of points? This one, the best they can do is out of 3. We want to make sure that they actually get a 3 out of 3. And then finally, the boss battle. So this would be where it's their final challenge, another assignment again. Do we want them to just submit something, anything, or score a certain score? Maybe this time we want to make sure they get at least 90%. And then you'll save the changes. And it automatically updates the items. Now, I didn't do all of them, so you can see there's a couple that are missing that I can go back through and change as well. But they must view this item before they can move on to the map skills. Then once they view that, they're allowed to move to the label the compass rose. Once they score at least 90 on the compass rose activity, then they're allowed to move on to the next item, and so on and so forth, all the way through to the boss battle. And that is the key, unlocking each of these student completion tasks. And then within our additional folders, you would do the same thing. So as you add items into level 2, each of those must be completed. And again, each type of material that you add provides a different type of requirement as far as what needs to be done. All right. So that's kind of the fun of it. You can play around and add different requirements and change your scores as you go along, so that students, you can make sure they truly understand the content before they move on to the next challenge.